Angel, let me drop you just for now. I'll bring you up later.
That's crazy.
But Kunta, Hammy, thank you guys for being here. Thank you everyone.
Wait,
Thank you everyone for being
I
here.
want to check something out real quick.
What? What is
I
it?
know what gadget my brother got. Like, you see this?
What is that?
Like, I plugged this charger in.
Yeah.
There's this charger I plugged in. I thought it was a charger, but it's connected to like the monitor. I don't know. I just think it's cool. You see it?
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Always. Who is this Star Wars dude?
Finn from the newer movies?
Or
You're talking about the Stormtrooper?
yeah.
Oh,
It's your boy.
Meals or Dream of Dawn.
Yeah.
But cool. We're gonna get started. So I'll start off with the introduction. Hello everyone. Thank you guys for being here. Wow, it's been a journey. I recently hit 9K. That's awesome. I'm hella tired, but we are here doing this yet again. I would like to welcome you all to Day of Debates 3, the 7th event put on or contributed to by my project or my social media project, The Controversial Compass, a space where only the best ideas win. And as you guys know, as you guys also know, it is May the 4th. So I want to say to all of you guys, May the 4th be with you, all 41 of you guys that are in here. And I was supposed to be getting a Chewbacca mask in the mail, but it didn't come in time. So I decided to dress up as Finn from the newer movies with Rey in it with his blue lightsaber. So that's what I will be doing today for that. But as for all of those who might be a fan of like Chewbacca impressions, that's for you guys. Anyway, so now for some of the numbering, it might be confusing. Like when I say Day of Debates 3, the 7th event put on or contributed to by my project, The Controversial Compass, you're probably wondering like, what do I mean by that per se? Well, as of right now, we've put on like 7 events or 6 events. We had Bart Vs Cease, with the topic or proposition being belief in the existence of God is irrational or rational. Then we had me, Mr. Coco versus Brody, with the topic being is the problem of evil a problem for God. We had Wisdom versus Icy. They were talking about is our universe finally tuned? We had Day of Debates 1, where TikTok was getting bananaed for the first time. Day of Debates 2, where TikTok was getting bananaed for the second time. And then we had Day of Debates 2, the aftermath on the Sunday before TikTok was getting banned. So we've put on 6 events, and this is going to be the 7th one. Really quickly, I'm going to introduce myself, and then I'm going to pass it off to Nils to introduce himself. My name is Mr. Coco, and I run a TikTok page here, or a social media page called The Controversial Compass, a space where only the best ideas win, where my mission is to host debates, debate people, document my journey to figure out what I believe in, spread accurate and correct information about religion, debate, communication, science, philosophy, and controversial topics in general, and lastly, to steelman and properly represent multiple worldviews, as well as make sure information is more accessible to people via this app or via my blog site, everything that I do. Some of these goals I might not have achieved yet, but I'm going to keep working hard, and eventually I'm going to achieve these goals. I'm going to keep working on this project, keep making content, and that's what I'm going to be doing. So with that, I'm going to pass off the mic to Nils, or Dream of Dawn, who will now introduce himself dressed as a stormtrooper. Go ahead, Dream.
Not just any stormtrooper, the one that actually fought against Finn and did pretty well. If you remember the 7th movie? Not 7th. It's hard. There's too many now. Wait, it was 7. I can count. As for topics we have today, because you already know my cosplay right now, we have debates about many different topics. 1, does the Bible endorse slavery? 2, does the Christian God exist? 3, have biblical prophecies been fulfilled, or did Jesus fulfill any of the prophecies? 4, is the MAGA movement fascist or fascistic? We have a lot of debates lined up for this event and 2 other events that Coco will be hosting, as well as I, that are coming soon. Keep in mind there will be no judges for the upcoming debates that I'm hosting, and there won't be any declared winners via judge vote. Later in the live, I will announce where I am putting up a poll where the audience can vote on and who they thought they won. An audience will be able to decide a winner for themselves. I also urge the audience to set aside, to the best of your abilities, your proclivities, not proclivities, proclivities and personal dispositions on the issue or related issues to make your best judgment. Vote for who you think won the debate, not who you side with more. And remember to not harass the debaters after the debate is finished. We don't like that here. Be nice. They're humans. And we have to and they took their time out of their day for your entertainment. So please, regardless of whether you agree or disagree with the views expressed, let's be careful and respectful.
Absolutely.
Respectful is probably better.
Absolutely. Let's respect the debaters. Let's not take any of it personally. Also, last thing and really quick reminder, feel free to give gifts to any of the contestants, the debaters, or me, the host, or my co-host, Dream of Dawn. We have all taken time out of our day to do this for your enjoyment and entertainment, but it is also okay if you can't give any gifts. That's totally fine. We just appreciate you guys for showing up today. Gifts simply do aid in helping everyone involved with this debate. All the contestants do this for a living and run their channels. All gifts are appreciated, but your presence is what is more appreciated than gifts. We just are grateful that you guys are here. We can't run our channels without your support. Regardless, with no further delay, we're going to start the debate with Follow Me, or Kunta or Love versus Hammy on whether the MAGA movement is fascist or fascistic. The person with the affirmation is going to start, so I think that's Hammy. You're going to get a 7-minute opener. Along with Kunta, you're going to have 2 rounds of 5-minute cross-examinations and then 3-minute closers. So, Hammy, whenever you're ready to start, we can start your 7-minute opener.
Well, hello there.
Wait 1 second. I'm the opener. I'm the affirmative, right?
No, I'm the affirmative.
Wait,
Wow, doesn't make sense.
How does that?
I'm
Do
the
you
one
think that the MAGA movement is fascistic?
I don't think it's fascist, so that's why I'm affirmative.
No, so if you don't think it is, that means you're not the affirmative. I am the affirmative because I do think it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, the idea is that we're affirming whether it's fascist or not.
I just literally checked this. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. So I looked this up, and it was according to the way that it's ran, it was showing that I was. So never mind. It's all good. It's all good, bro.
Yeah, Hammy's affirming.
I guess Google was wrong then.
Yeah, Hammy's affirming that the MAGA movement is fascist, and Follow Me, you're saying that it's not fascist. So he would be the affirmative, you'd be the negation.
Yeah, I guess Google was wrong. Never mind.
Yeah, because if this was a yes or no question, I would say yes. You would say no.
Yeah.
So, all right, let's go. Let's get this.
All right.
Okay, so Hammy,
All right.
I'll start the timer when you say your first word.
All right. Well, I'm going to start off by keeping in theme with the May the 4th and say, Anakin, I have the high ground. And now, hello, my name is Hammy. We're here to discuss the topic of if the MAGA movement is fascistic, where I am taking the affirmative position. I want to thank Coco for hosting this debate and thank Follow Me for taking up the opposition. Before we get to the topic itself, we have to define what fascism is. We go off of the dictionary definition, which Merriam-Webster defines it as a populist political philosophy movement or regime, such as that of the fascisti, that exalts nation and often race above the individual, that is associated with a centralized autocratic government headed by a dictatorial leader, and that is characterized by severe economic and social regimentation and by forcible suppression of opposition, which is a mouthful. And while it isn't untrue, it also doesn't quite cover what fascism is, especially since there's other fascistic regimes that don't tend to cover stuff like race above the individual. So I think that we should be using the basic ideas that all regimes that are fascistic cover that no other regimes do. So, what are the attributes of fascism? That would be nationalism, authoritarianism, militarism, suppression of opposition, totalitarianism, anti-communist and anti-socialism positions, and a cult of personality around the leader. They tend to use propaganda focused on collectivism, suppression of a dissent, strong state control, and a glorification of violence. I could go into every single one of these topics here in the opening statement, but it would take much longer than the 7 minutes we agreed upon, and so we shall get into them later on in the debate. Now, it is easy to point to any of these attributes and characteristics and say, well, I have seen other presidents of the United States do exactly one of these. Does that mean that that president or that group is fascistic? And this seems like a good question, but it actually isn't. You can't just use one of these to be fascistic, or even just a combination of a couple of them. If you do, it's still problematic of a regime to use that, to use one or a combination of a couple of them, but in and of itself isn't fascistic. You need to have all of these together to be fascist. I would also argue that if you wish to point out that the opposition to the MAGA movement is also fascistic, you would then be conceding to my position, and therefore the debate is over. The only way to debate against this topic is for you to show how MAGA doesn't adhere to the attributes of fascism, or show me how I have not met my burden of proof to qualify them as such. I look forward to the debate, and I yield the rest of my time to either open discussion or to follow me for his opener.
Okay. And I'm pausing your time there. You had 3 minutes and 59 seconds left. So now, follow me. You're going to get 7 minutes for your opener, and I'll start it whenever you say your first word.
I appreciate you, man. First of all, this dude's on a bad start, but anyways, let's get this rolling, man. All right, so I just want to say this. Good evening, everyone. Good evening. All right, and thank you for being here. Anyone that's here, anyone that hates me, I don't care. Y'all can suck, whatever. I bet. So tonight, we are talking about the world that's been thrown around a lot lately. Okay. Fascism, right? And not just thrown around, but also weaponized. All right, got this? The accusation that the MAG movement is fascist has become a popular talking point, in certain circles, right? And we're experiencing it right here. Talking point, all right? In media, on TikTok, being one of the medias, Instagram, you name it. Probably on OnlyFans too, you name it, bro. In some academic circles, academic spaces, and yes, often in partisan debates, as we're having it right here too, bro. So, but here's the truth, all right? Here's the truth. Calling something fascist doesn't make it fascist, bro. It doesn't make no sense. So I don't know what y'all talking about. Don't hear me. I don't know what you're talking about, bro. It's not an argument. It doesn't make no sense. It's a label, all right? So, and usually it is a label used to shut people up, all right? Not open a conversation. I'm sensing, I can literally sense or use my spider senses. Although I'm wearing this helmet, I can sense the spider senses that this dude is not going to be an open conversation. He's just going to try and shut me up. But we got him on you. He's not going to shut me up. No one shuts me up, right? So before we start tossing around heavy historical terms like nationalism, we need to ask, what is fascism actually? What is fascism? Fascism is not just a political position you disagree with, Fascism is not just nationalism. I knew he was going to go there. It is not longing or loving your country, all right? It is not disagreeing with the media. Fascism historically and academically, is very specific ideology. Totalitarian control. I'll say it again. Totalitarian control. Suppression of dissent. State-run propaganda. State-run propaganda. I have an accent, but it's all good. The ensure or erasure of democratic institutions. And often, though not always an element of racial or ethnic superiority, It is Mussolini, okay? It is Hitler. It is military rule. It is the destruction of free speech. Y'all coming out here in America, y'all living good, like Tesla's here. Come on, man. Like, grow up. Trying to make the MAGA movement seem like it's some sort of Hitler. Mussolini. Oh, however you pronounce that dude's name. Mussolini, okay? Oh, he got me all stressed up. I need Advil. I'm going to continue. Or, okay, now let's take an honest look at the MAGA movement, okay? It is populist. Yes, it is popular. Does it challenge the elite class or bureaucratic systems? Hell no. Maybe it does, you might say. Is it uncomfortable to the mainstream media and political establishment? I mean, we live in a world where people can't just grow up, man. Like, look at the UFC. They have grown up to an extent where they can express views, and we don't have to be, children about it. But nowadays, every little thing that we mention, we have to cancel them. Like, come on, bro. All right, 3 minutes. I got you. Without a doubt. But none of that makes it fascist. In fact, check this. It does the opposite. Note this down. Write this in your notes. So whenever I'm done with all of this, y'all be like, oh, Samuel didn't make this point or this point. Note this down, bro. The MAGA movement emerged from democratic participation. Okay? It emerged from democratic participation, all right? People voted. They rallied. Okay? They spoke out. They challenged the system. Challenge the status quo, not to destroy it, but challenge the status quo of democracy, but to restore what they believe is a government that works for the people, not against the people. You might not like the tone or the candidates or the hats, but disagreeing with a movement doesn't make it authoritarian, bro. Like, relax, man, relax. Put some gargles on so you can see better. Maybe you can't read, bro. I'm playing. And here is the part I want my atheist or Democratic friends or any Republican who disagrees with me or anyone skeptical to hear my clarity. Okay, we can debate ideas. We can debate policies. We can debate strategies, but if we start branding every opponent as fascist, listen to me clearly. If we start branding every opposer as fascist, we end up losing the ability to talk at all. So we trade facts for fear. And that's dangerous. I'm going to say it again. We trade facts for fear. And that's dangerous. That is the kind of climate that actually feeds extremism. So let's wake up, man. Let's wake up, please. Thank you very much for this opportunity. I appreciate you.
Okay.
30 seconds left on the clock.
Bet. Okay, now that both of the openers have been given, the affirmative is going to get a 5-minute cross-examination. So Hammy, you're going to get a 5-minute cross-examination. Dream of Dawn is going to keep time of the 5-minute cross-examination, and he will start his timer whenever, Hammy, you say your first word.
Just note, I will be showing up my fingers to show the time remaining.
Okay. All right, so Kunta, you had sat there and said that you knew that I was going to go to nationalism. Did you hear anything that I actually said during my opening?
Yeah, pretty much. You basically started out with, going on Webster's dictionary, defining fascism, which is pretty silly. I don't know how you go there. And then you basically start reflecting on the idea. I'm just paraphrasing, so you correct me if I'm wrong. Mm-hmm. Talking about how it's basic extremism, how if I were to use the opposite of fascism, in terms of like, but they did this, we are hypocrites because the Democrats are doing this, right?
Follow me.
So therefore,
Follow me.
that wouldn't even. That's basically what you said.
Follow me. No, that's not basically what I said.
Okay.
What I said. So what I said was, yes, I did give the dictionary definition, but I sat there and said that I'm not going to be using that. I'm saying that one could use that, but I'm using the actual attributes of fascism. So, and I listed off a bunch of different things that were the attributes of fascism, which nationalism is one of them. And I also included authoritarianism, militarism, suppression of opposition, and all that stuff. So, so what is wrong with using nationalism as an issue, as a talking point, or as part of a thing?
Yeah, can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's pretty ridiculous to use nationalism because I think it doesn't really reflect what we mean by fascism, but from like academic literature, it doesn't really reflect. It just to me it just sounds very misleading and very harmful for public discourse.
Do you not?
So
when we look at academic,
it's more or less an emotional debate, right? Rather than actually looking at the.
Hold on, because this is my cross.
You didn't really define it precisely. Oh, my bad.
This is my cross. So the thing is I didn't define every single aspect of it because, like I said, if I did, it would be way over the 7-minute mark. But the thing is that nationalism in academic literature is one of the defining features of fascism. We see this in the Italian fascisti movement of Mussolini. We see this in Schmittler's fascistic movement of Nazi Germany, and we see this in Stalin's version of his own fascistic movement. So I don't understand why you think that using nationalism is wrong in this context. So can you explain that for me?
Okay, so is that a question?
Yeah, I said, can you explain why it's wrong?
Yeah, sure. So let's look at Mussolini. You brought him up. So I'm sure you brought him up because I mentioned it. Okay. So
no, that's
part of where fascism comes from. I brought up Hitler in my openings. Mm-hmm. I mentioned those two. Okay. So let's
that's what a cross is.
The actual founder of fascism, right? Let's take Mussolini for example. So he banned opposition parties, jailed critics. We also know that if you're going to call someone fascist today, they better fit that mold. But it doesn't fit that mold. Yeah, sure.
How does hold on, follow me. How does Mussolini's fascistic follow me?
Wait.
Follow me.
Go ahead.
How is Mussolini's fascistic regime not nationalistic?
Like I said, right? His was just only military or imperialistic regime.
Did he not do it for the nation?
In the year 1922 in Italy. But to say he's a fascist doesn't make sense because what we look at regarding fascism, again, my definition it opposes the definition that you're bringing up, I think.
No, as a matter of fact, your definition of fascism was the exact same definition I brought up. Because I brought up nationalism, I brought authoritarianism, I brought up the whole entire idea of that they suppress consenting, they suppress dissidents. I talked about propaganda. I talked about all of that stuff in my opening, which shows that you weren't paying attention to my opening.
I was paying attention.
Well, then you wouldn't. Then how can you say that my definition is in complete opposite of your definition?
Well, I think I'm going to answer the question again. You're just probably not listening. Like I said, I'm trying to say that nationalism is not fascism. I don't think it is. I think it's false equivalence. Nationalism simply means prioritizing your own nation well-being. That's all it is. Every country does that. The United States does that. I think France is not nationalistic. Japan is nationalistic.
Follow me.
Israel is nationalistic.
Follow me. We're done.
Fascist, of course not.
We are out of time.
Time seized.
The 5 minutes have fully been used up.
Okay. And with that, we're going to move on to Follow Me's cross-examination. He gets 5 minutes on the clock. So Follow Me, those 5 minutes will start when you say your first word, and Dream of Dawn will keep time.
Okay. So thank you. So the question I want to ask is, can you define fascism using a recognized academic source? Okay, because you haven't done that. and then explain specifically how MAGA movement fits the definition.
All right. So, which academic source would you like?
I mean, any academic source, like
Any academic source?
of your choice. Yep, any academic source.
Not a problem. I can pull up the definition from Encyclopedia Britannica. I can pull up the definition of anything.
Okay, not Webster, not Webster.
Yeah,
That's not academic.
yeah. The thing is my definition that I brought up to you earlier. It said
It was
everything
from
that
Webster.
your definition said.
We don't want Webster. We don't want Oxford. We want an academic literature.
Here, I'll repeat what I said. I said here. Let's see here. It doesn't quite cover what fascism is, especially since either. Let's see here. Again, so I think what we should use the basic ideas that all regimes cover, that not other regimes
Britannica is
do.
better. I think you should go to Britannica. That's better.
Sure. Why not? Fascism. Alrighty. Encyclopedia Britannica. Here we go. Sorry, my computer's slow. There we go. Fascism, political ideology and mass movement that dominated many parts of Central, Southern, and Eastern Europe between 1919 and 1945, and that has also adhered in Western Europe, the United States, South Africa, Japan, Latin America, yada, yada, yada. Although fascist, let's see here. That gives me the... this just starts giving me... it says European first fascist leader was Benito Mussolini. Yeah, so it doesn't say there. It says national fascism.
So
then it goes on.
It's not establishing like any historian, like that maybe would help you define it.
Well, I don't see what's wrong with the definition I gave.
I mean, so far you're just listing like names. I've heard. I haven't really had like a specific.
Well, no. So the definition I gave listed everything that you said.
Okay, so what is the definition? Precise definition, please.
The precise definition I gave was the list of the characteristics of
and that is
what
list.
all regimes are.
I don't want list of characteristics. I want precise definition.
So how do you define something? It's
So you don't.
based
So
off the
is that?
characteristics,
Are
right?
you conceding that you don't know the definition of fascism?
No.
Okay,
No,
so
I
why
just
are you
told you.
asking me to define it for you?
Because fascism in and of itself is a movement that tends to be so broad because of the fact that you have a bunch of different. We're looking at nowadays, and we're looking at
So
things
it's broad.
from the
Is
past.
that a definition?
It's a broad.
So
It is a broad
Do you know why it's
definition
broad?
because it's broad because the fact that it is going off of the characteristics of the regime itself. That's why, like for instance, whenever we're talking about Mussolini's fascism, we're talking about the characteristics of Mussolini's fascism. When we're talking about Hitler's fascism,
So
we're
far
talking about the characteristics.
So far, you're just mentioning characteristics. You're mentioning
Because this is what academics talks about.
So here's the funny thing, right? This guy's telling me that I was not listening, right? I tried to paraphrase exactly what he was saying, but he was like, "Oh, you're not paying attention." I'm asking him to find a simple definition to refute my point.
And I told you
as an African American
because
who doesn't even this is not even my own point.
follow me,
right? Like
Follow
you
me.
can't provide
Follow
a
me.
definition. You can't. So please, again.
follow me. What was the definition you gave?
Okay,
me,
let's just
Roky?
move forward. Right? Because obviously this guy cannot provide a definition, right? I can do your homework for you if you want me to, because I came ready. I don't know if you did. All right, so let me just do it for
came
you.
ready.
According to historian Robert O. Paxton, that his influential book, that Anatomy of Fascism, right? He defines it like this. It's a form of political behavior marked by obsessive preoccupation with community decline, humiliation, or victimhood, and by compensatory codes of unity, energy, and purity. Okay, in which a mass-based party of committed nationalist militants, okay, working on easy but effective collaboration with traditional elites, abandons democratic liberties and pursues a redemptive violence without ethical or legal restraints, goals of eternal cleansing and external expansion. Where in this definition do you see MAGA's rhetoric or the movement promoted by a unified national identity, or and when the way that operates as a populist mass movement fits that definition? Where do you see the relationship?
You are out of time.
So you can't. Can you create the relationship there?
We're out of
Hold on.
time.
Okay.
So we're going to move on to the second round of cross-examination. Hammy, you're going to get 5 minutes, and your 5 minutes is going to start once you say your first word, timed by Dream of Dawn.
All right, Kunta. In that definition, tell me that you just gave. Tell me, are those not list of characteristics of what fascistic movements are?
No, I don't see a characteristic. I just see a simple, precise definition. That's it.
So go ahead and read that definition one more time.
All right, right. So basically, it's a form of political behavior, right? Because you weren't listening, so I'm going to repeat it again for you. Marked by obsessive preoccupation.
Wait. Stop real quick.
Humiliation or
Kunta. What did you say there? You said marked by, correct?
Yeah, marked.
So
by
marked
obsessive,
by. Yes,
obsessive
marked by.
I'm trying to repeat it for you. I'm answering your question.
I know. No. I'm asking about that marked by because that marked by simply just means that this is going to be a list of characteristics.
What? No.
Yes.
What? No,
that is.
That's what it means.
That's what marked by means.
Wait. So this is different. This doesn't mean Mag is identical. All we're saying is the scholar here is arguing is displaced, right? It doesn't mean that it's proto-fascist, nothing like that. You got it wrong. Stop taking out of context.
It's saying that whenever you use the term marked by, that means you are connotating that these are going to be a list of characteristics that are about this particular word.
No.
So, anyways,
so how would
going on to the next thing?
Wait, can you justify that? Because that's just a claim. Can you justify
this is my cross-examination. I don't answer.
So you're not going to just make a claim, can't justify. Okay, I got it.
Yeah, no. So you see, again, this is my cross-examination. I will answer yours on your cross-examination. All right, so I want to bring it back to your opening where you talked about how MAGA was a whole entire movement that was a democratic participation. Can you answer me what?
That's what I said.
Yes, you did.
I
made sure I wrote it down.
I said it rose out of, right? I didn't say
it rose out of. Yes. That's a democratic yeah. So tell me, was Hitler himself? Did he not get voted in?
Did he not? Yes, I'm supposedly for sure. Yep. Go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. So, did Mussolini not get voted in?
Yeah, supposedly. Yep.
Yeah. Did Stalin not get voted in?
Supposedly. Yep.
Yeah. So these are all voting in. So these were democratically. This was a democratic participation where they got in. Yes.
Yeah, they got it. Yeah.
So then and we can all recognize that Mussolini, Hitler, and Stalin were all fascistic regimes, correct?
Yeah, but what does this have to do with MAGA?
So what I'm saying is like your point about how it can't be fascist because they came out of a democratic participation doesn't make sense.
So were you listening? Maybe it doesn't make sense because you're not listening.
Yes, I did listen, and that's why I wrote it down.
So you're not listening. The reason why I said that was quite simple. Do you mind if I repeat that? Remind me?
You can do that on your cross-examination. I only have 2 minutes left.
So you was not listening. Okay, got it.
So the thing is that we are talking about a group of people who, so we're talking about a group of people who, how can I word this exactly correctly to make it a question? So, do you think that the MAGA movement is not anti-communist and anti-socialism?
When you say it's not anti-communist, what do you mean by that?
Meaning that they don't, that the people within the MAGA movement, that they are, do you think that they're against communism?
I think the MAGA movement, there's a lot of different diverse perspectives within the MAGA movement. So some maybe, some may not.
But the overall,
for example,
anti-communist.
No, for example, who's this president? He was going to run for president. He's from India, for example. But he didn't make it.
This is America.
He's a governor. He's a governor. I think he's going to be a governor of Ohio.
Oh, Indiana. I'm sorry.
I
thought you were saying India.
He's from India. For example, he appreciates communism. I met it for myself. Vivek Ramaswamy, thank you. He appreciates communism, for example.
He approves of communism.
appreciates communism. He appreciates it.
Okay, but he doesn't actually like want that to be in America, correct?
Necessarily.
Okay, so but again, we're not.
He had a different.
We're talking about. So we're talking about a group as a whole. Not
we
just,
are out of time.
Okay.
all right.
And we are going to be moving on to, I think, Kunta's 5-minute cross-examination to end the second round of cross-examination. And then after that, we will move on to conclusions. Kunta, you get 5 minutes, and we'll start as soon as you say your first word, and Dream of Dawn will keep time.
Yeah, I honestly don't even know why he brought that place where he was going with that. But anyways, my next question I want to ask is that, is it possible you are mistaking populism, right? Populism or nationalism for fascism without considering their distinct definitions?
No.
Do you know what I mean when I say populism?
That is controlled by the populace, right?
Okay.
Or that it's an popular opinion type of deal, right?
Yeah, populism by, like, for example, is it possible that you that it puts you it may put you within some sort of like recognizing the strategy that appeals to the common people, like you said? Because fascism, this is how I define it, the three terms, okay? And I'm going to ask my next question. Populism would be a political strategy, basically. Common people against the elite. And then nationalism, how I would define it, is sovereignty, interest for one's nations. We all do it. We all have it. Fascism is suppressed dissent, elevates the state. So my question again, how, if you say no, how is populism or nationalism not creating a distinct between that and fascism, please? Where's the symmetry breaker here?
Well, I disagree with your terminology for nationalism. I tend to go off
again,
of,
where's the symmetry breaker between populism, nationalism, and fascism? Because again, I've created fascism often involves violence, militarism, and cult of personality, right? So nationalism, populism, sometimes excessive but not inherently authoritarian. If that was the case, I don't think MAGA will even survive in America. And on the populism, like I said before. So where is the symmetry breaker here? Can you create a symmetry breaker, please?
What do you mean by symmetry breaker?
A distinction between fascism, nationalism, and populism.
Okay, so the distinction between the three is that nationalism is not necessarily in and of itself. It has overlaps within fascism, but it doesn't necessarily qualify as fascism because of the fact that nationalism tends to be about it can cover a wide range of things. It doesn't necessarily just mean government. That's why we have stuff like Christian nationalism. Got it. So would you agree with me that, like, nationalism and populism, while they can be intense, they are not inherently authoritarian? Is that what you're saying? I think that nationalism does have some authoritarianism in it.
So they have some, but not inherently authoritarian?
Inherently, I don't think I would argue that at all. No.
So are they sometimes not authoritarian?
Yeah.
Okay. So not inherently, but sometimes not. Okay. Will you agree that the MAGA movement is primarily characterized nationalistic, populist themes, such as what I would say is advocating for national sovereignty, economic protection, distrust of political elites, not by authoritarian governance or suppression of opposition?
Well, they are actually, when we're talking about the MAGA movement, they have been suppressing opposition.
So can you provide like an example of how they have been suppressing?
Sure.
Within the sense of militarism, within the sense of extreme violence.
Why would it need to be in the sense of because
that's what fascism is. Fascism is defined
not necessarily
as authoritarian system. So now you're creating your own subjective framework of
do you know what
fascism.
militarism
Wait, are you now redefining fascism?
No, because militarism is talking about wartime.
No.
They tend to have a
fascism, according to all the literature I'm looking up here, is defined as authoritarian system, okay, that centralized power. We live in a country that does not have centralized power. That is wrong. Suppress
they're trying.
Elevates this. Oh, so they're trying. So you're not even sure.
Did you not?
Wait. Hold on. It's my turn. It's my turn.
Yep, you're right.
Like you said, they're trying to get there. So you're not even sure if they're there yet. Correct?
They are trying to, but
Oh, so they're not there,
they're not there
correct? I rest my case. I rest my case. This guy's cooked, bro. This guy's cooked.
Do you know what fascistic means?
No, you're just contradicting yourself because you came up here with all.
Kunta,
wait.
Kunta,
It's my turn. It's my question. It's my question. My turn. You came up here with all buffed up talking about, oh, I know that they're fascists, but now you contradict talking about they're trying. They're not there, but they're trying. It's either they're trying or they are. You gotta pick one, bro.
Okay,
you gotta pick one.
Would you like to rephrase that as a question?
Bro, you said that you're trying, so they're not there.
Would you like to rephrase that as a question?
They're trying, so not there. So to me, I think I rest my case by saying that labeling movement as fascist mistakes is populist and nationalist in nature.
But we are
I caught
out
him.
of time.
I caught his ass.
No, you didn't.
Okay, so with that, we're going to move on to the final statements. The affirmative is going to get 3 minutes on the clock to make his final statement. And the time will start once you say your first sentence, and Dream of Dawn will keep talking.
Who's going first, me or him?
It would be you, Hammy.
Okay, me? All right, not a problem. Thing is we were talking about fascistic. Is this regime fascistic? Fascistic in and of itself means that it has the capabilities of being fascist. It means that it is not in and of itself fascist. It's that it's fascistic. That was what I agreed to debate. And the thing is that he thinks that I was quote unquote cooked because I didn't say that I didn't prove that it was fascist whenever I said that it was fascistic. I said that in my opening, and that's what fascistic means, is that it has the ability to be fascist. Now, as we didn't get around to actually doing the entire debate that was set up because time constraints, I will just say that that in the recent months, Trump has petitioned the government to have more power over federal spending, have more power over different things. His suppression of opposition comes in the form of trying to get the people who are opposing opposition to him out of federal government and put in the people who are loyal to him, not to the president, not to the office, not to the country, to him and him alone, including declining anybody who is applying to become a federal employee by, even if they have a picture with his opponent in it. We have the use of military in the form of ICE going into people's houses and deporting them without any due process. We have that happening quite often. We see the military using violence to take out people from the country. We see this quite often. Let's see here. We also, in the form of propaganda, we saw that during his actual run for presidency, with the fact that he owns Truth Social. He has Elon Musk, who has Twitter. He also has this very app bending the knee to him. We have a bunch of different things that the actual media not covering a lot of different things about him, and so on and so forth. People are bending the knee. Facebook bent the knee. Everybody bent the knee. So there's other stuff, but I'm out of time.
We are out of time, just like you said.
Okay, and with that, follow me. You're going to get your 3-minute conclusion. It will start once you say your first word, and it will be timed by Dream of Dawn.
Okay, so like I started, right, fascism is defined as a political ideology characterized by torture and control, suppression of dissent, the abolition of democratic institutions. I've just seen that. Extremely utilitarian. I don't think this guy has a position. He says it could be, is trying to, it seems like that's all the only phrases that we're hearing. He doesn't have a position. My justification is that we see police like later, really nationalism. You want to see fascism? You want to see fascism, bro? Go to Sudan. See fascism there, brother. You live in America. You have all this food and good food. You complain about fascism. Come on, brother. And then I also said the movement. It's the movement that meets most of all different criteria. The term fascism is not accurately applied to these groups, okay? That share only a few superficial traits, right? It can be analogous to how a person with one could, does not necessarily have the flu or partial overlap with fascist traits. I mean, this is insufficient for classification. Okay, and also another point I want to make is the MAGA movement does not advocate for totalitarian control. We haven't seen that anywhere. It's not one state parties system or the abolition of democratic elections. We haven't seen that anywhere. And it includes MAGA movements includes participation in democratic process like elections, rallies. There's judicial challenges. We're living in an economy that's mixed economy, bro. I don't know what this guy is talking about. He's just making all these noise for no reason. And then also there has been criticism of this institution, right, for a strong leadership. There have been criticism from Harvard. There have been criticism from Yale. All of these criticism from professors who are criticizing these things already, right? So I don't know what wording this guy is acting. He also brought up ICE. Let's go to ICE. What we've seen in ICE, right? ICE was empowered to carry out aggressive immigration. And it wasn't just, ICE was not a system that Trump created. ICE was already established by the Democrats, okay? Obama was included in that system too as well. When Obama was a president, he was also taking people out of the country too as well. So this guy's bringing ICE. I didn't want to go there, but I went there because he's bringing ICE to make it. What point is he trying to make exactly? Your own system is part of that. So you're just contradicting yourself. Trump, and then the last point I want to make is, as an African, everyone listen. People, I'm upset. It's sad to see immigrants being taken out to different countries. I don't really know why. I don't have the facts as to if they deserve to be taken out. I can't really make any claim there. Okay, but what I notice is if people
we're gonna have to cut you off and take you out like ice because sadly you are out of time.
And that will conclude the first debate. So thank you both for being here. The debate was really good, and we appreciate both of your candor. Thank you guys for competing. Thank you guys for giving my platform a chance and debating on my platform. We genuinely really do appreciate you guys. If you guys could stick around for as long as you can, we're gonna have a 20-minute in between debate time where people from the audience can come up, ask questions, make comments. After the 20 minutes is done, we're going to move on to the next debate. But if you have to go, you can go before the 20 minutes is over. But yes, 20 minutes starting now, Dream of Dawn. And I'm going to set up the poll so people can vote and say
Whit wants to
who
vote
they
right
think.
now.
So,
and one more thing. Hit the likes, everybody. Jesus Christ, smash your screens, okay? We need those likes. We're greedy. Okay, if you don't do it, the Force will not be with us.
Yeah, the fourth won't be with us.
Exactly. And also, the next debate is going to be Jeff for Truth versus King Donald on have biblical prophecies been fulfilled, and did Jesus fulfill any prophecies? That's going to be happening at 7:20 to 8 o'clock p.m. So tune in for that.
Starting the 20 minutes now.
Yeah, there's no tariffs on tapping, guys. Tap the screen. I had two questions. They're short though, if y'all don't mind.
Yeah.
Follow me. You there? Follow me.
Yes, I'm listening.
Do you think that threatening the media is fascist?
Right there.
Threatening to jail the media platforms who do not support Trump, or
I think that's fascist.
you don't think that's fascist?
No.
You don't think that affects the amendment for freedom of speech or the media?
No, but I don't think that's fascist.
Alrighty, thank you.
Okay, I'll ask mine. Well, I'll actually give that statement I have. Coach is gonna hate my ass for this, but Obama's not black, right?
Hmm?
Obama was Hawaiian.
Okay.
He was not black.
Your mom was Hawaiian, and
No, Obama. Is what she said.
Obama.
yeah, Obama was Obama. Wait, what are you talking about? Obama's parents had parents from Kenya. Okay, so he's have part black. Also have family from Hawaii. So I think I know what I'm talking about.
Okay, yeesh. Someone woke on the wrong side of the bed.
But I don't
I
know.
only have two questions.
We
Oh,
should
go
probably
ahead.
fact check on that. But go ahead, Rhaegar, and the poll is up. Everybody, you can vote. There's a clipboard in your left corner, right there. You can vote and tell us who you think
You
won.
blocked it with the fucking prompt, asshole.
Oh, I did. Wait, hold on. Give me one
Anyways,
No,
W
let's
saying
go
my name
ahead.
correctly. Appreciate that. W respectful host. Anyways, first things first. Why didn't any of Luke Skywalker's marriages last? He always followed Obi-Wan's advice. You divorced, Luke. Anyways, my only question for Kunta and Hammy was, were there any arguments rendered through the entirety of the debate, or just like definitions of what fascism is? And if so, what the fuck is it? I'm still confused.
All right, I'll answer first, since Kunta had the last question, and then Kunta can follow me. I would say no. There was no arguments that got rendered during the debate because we got caught up. You're right. We did get caught up on the definition aspect. And as far as what fascism is, I said that in academics they don't. The reason why there's not a real consensus on what to actually define fascism, each scholar has their own definition of it, but they argue over semantics. So most people tend to, within the academic field, tend to just go off of a general what each definition tends to have in common, and it's just the attributes that they have in common, which is what I read off in my opening statement. Would you like me to read that off again?
But really quickly, Dream of Dawn.
Yeah.
You got a fact check for us?
So for Obama's parents, and the source is Britannica, it seems like his father was a Kenyan, while his mother was what we would generally see as white, and he was born in Hawaii. So take that as you will. Kenyan father, white mother, born in Hawaii.
Still means you're Hawaiian.
Okay. Thank you for the fact check. Absolutely awesome. Really appreciate it.
Don't play Obama like that, please.
If you
I'm not dumb.
Dream of Dawn, if you can, if you're like fast enough, maybe later in the live when we need a fact check, you could probably do that. But it's not a big deal. But like, if you can, it's fine. But thank you.
Okay, I got the lightning fingers. I got it.
We know you do.
Any other questions? AR, do you have something for?
Okay, Maki, call me slow one more time.
Nah, I was just chilling up here. I mean, I could come there. I could drop if you need them.
So can I answer Cage's question?
No, one of your friends called me slow.
Rhaegar kind of like disappeared, but honestly, we've got like 20 more minutes because the introduction to the debate was kind of quick, and the debate did go pretty fast. So we can accept more audience questions or votes.
Who's next?
Yeah, I think it's fair, Coco. I think it's fair. It's respectful. I answer.
Who's next?
Follow
Wait,
me. I can repeat you the question that
I know what he asked.
not Rhaegar was. Oh, okay. You know what he asked. All right.
Yeah. He was just basically wondering if we're providing kind of arguments, or we just limited it to a bunch of definitions.
anyways, follow my server.
And I would say I provided deductive logical arguments, right? I provided that as part of my questioning. And we did get caught up in the definition aspects of it, but I basically brought up a historical scholar, Robert Paxton, and what I see here, also Roger Griffin, Jason Stanley, Roberto Eco, all of them have this generalized agreement on what fascism is. I think you are creating your own subjective definition. I don't know where you're getting yours from, but anyways, thank you.
Can I
I think
say
I had a
one
question.
thing real quick?
Seconds, guys. We're weak in the force here. Your mitochondrion count is low. We need more likes to increase our God damn it, I can't say it.
Mitochondria.
If you can, everyone, I really appreciate it if you tap the screen. And tap the screen for
your mitochondrian screen.
Yeah.
But
or House of the Force.
Yes.
And
I'd like to add something real quick.
Go ahead, Angel, and then Con, you can go after that.
Yeah. Maki, stop calling me slow. That's just my voice. I just don't give a shit.
Oh, that's it. Who is it in the comments that's saying that?
I can actually ping him right now.
But while that's happening, Con, if you got a question, go for it.
Yeah, I kind of got thrown off by the fucking mitochondrians, midichlorians thing, but it was a question for both Hammy and for Kunta. How much time did you guys spend preparing your arguments? I'd like to hear from Hammy first and then Kunta afterwards. Just a rough estimation of hours.
I spent roughly, I would say I spent like maybe about 12 hours altogether. I think where I went wrong was I seemed to have managed to find all that time to do that and to do other things, but forgot to write down the actual questions I had, and so then when I came up here, they just all kind of fell out of my head.
Okay, target panic. That's understandable. How about you, Kunta? How many hours do you think you spent preparing for this?
1 hour. Simple, bro. There's no 12 hours. It was just 1 hour. Simple, basic.
Fair enough. I'm gonna keep my opinions to myself and let you guys continue. But I was curious on that one. Cheers.
Thank you, Con, for coming up here. We appreciate the participation. We're going to take our next guest. Or Jeffrey Truth, did you have any comments? But I know you're here because you're the next debate on the lineup.
No comments on this one. I'm just waiting for the next show.
Thank you for being here, and thank you for being one of the debate matchups for my events. I really appreciate that, and I love to host all these debates. Thank you so much. But Jesse, do you have anything for us? The second comment?
Yes, I do. I want to make it abundantly clear. I did not mean to vote for Kunta. MAGA is fascist. Thank you.
Okay. I do have the results of the vote in, but just like a debate tradition, I don't ever really show the results during the debate. I show it the next day after the debate. So after all the debates are done, the next day I'll post the results on my account. And you can also
I get to know the first because someone told me before.
maybe someone knows. Maybe someone
knows. And
Is strong in the force.
yeah, maybe
I am
they
always with
got
the
the
force.
results.
And
But,
everyone tap your fucking screen.
But Fueled Orange, what do you got for us? You got a question for any?
Oh, I had a question for Kunta.
Go for it.
What are your thoughts on the scholar you cited, Robert Paxton, calling Trump a fascist?
What?
What are your thoughts on Robert Paxton, the scholar you cited for your definition of fascism, calling Trump a fascist?
Yeah, where did he say that? I just provided definition.
Oh, sure. So in Newsweek in 2021, he explicitly said...
Answer the question, bro, wait. Let me answer the question. I can care less if my mom called Donald Trump a fascist. I can care less if my sister called Donald Trump.
We're not talking about a random person. We're talking about the scholar you cited.
Bro, let me finish.
This is the scholar you cited.
Wait. I can care less if my little cousin who's 2 years old.
We're not talking about a random person. We're not talking about your cousin. We're talking about a scholar. The same one you cited.
Bro, all I know, right, is
this is disanalogous.
I'm here to just provide the definition of how Robert Paxton
and the person you used called Trump a fascist.
Let's bring the heat down a little bit. But
Let me finish.
Just
I'm
to
trying to
clarify
respond,
the
bro.
question,
Bro,
do you think it
at the
means
end of the
any?
day,
Wait, could we
you
just could you stop for 2 seconds, Kunta? Just to clarify the question to make sure this is what you're
I understand the
asking.
question. I understand the question.
Wait, just to clarify for the audience, just to make sure. Are you
I
trying to
understand
ask if
exactly where
there's
he's going with
any?
this.
Wait.
Are you?
Can I respond?
Yeah.
Wait, not yet. Dream of Dawn is talking, and we're both moderating this live. So please, everyone, if I ask you or Dream of Dawn asks you to like calm down, moderators for this live. So please be respectful of that. Dream of Dawn, say what you want to say, and then we'll go on to finishing up this question.
Yeah, so maybe this is a rephrasal, but do you think it's at least concerning that the person you're quoting for the definition of fascism seems to use said definition to describe Donald Trump?
Not at all. Not at all. Because he can read a book and just like people do with the Bible, they can quote any verse or any quote and say, "Oh, he said this." I want to see the book, the article where he says that. What is he talking about?
Yeah. Oh, sure. So he said it in Newsweek in 2021 after the insurrection of the Capitol.
Yeah. So okay. So in 2021, you mean? Because I'm looking at 2021 interview of the New Yorker. Paxton said, "For the first time in my life, I think it is not unreasonable to use the word fascist in regard to Donald Trump." So what are we talking about? I see a quote that in 2021 that he literally says this to use. It is not unreasonable to use the word fascism with Donald Trump. And then also we also see that he encouraged a mass based movement to reject the Democrat election. So I mean, I don't know where you're going with this, bro. I honestly don't.
Oh, where I'm going with this is that the person you're citing for your definition of fascism has explicitly called Trump a fascist.
Well,
the title of it is, I've hesitated to call Donald Trump a fascist until
that's
now.
wrong. That's wrong. I'm reading here that he did not say Trump is identical to Hitler.
You're reading something else.
One second.
The title is, I've hesitated to call Donald Trump a fascist
Can I
until
respond?
now.
That's the question. I'm trying to respond. I'm reading here. You just don't like where I can also search up. Internet is very free. Okay, it's not just free for you. Also free.
No, you just don't. You're not engaging with the actual thing I'm saying. You're talking about something else,
brother. I'm responding to you.
He
did not say. I'm reading here that he did not say Donald Trump is identical to Hitler or Mussolini. He did not claim the U.S. under Trump became a fascist state. He continues to stress the importance of historical.
I never made any one of those claims. I said that he called him a fascist, not that he's Hitler, not that America became fascist, that he is fascist.
Brother, I know
you're not talking about my claim.
But I'm not talking about claim. It says
no, you're not.
It says here what he meant. You take him out of context. It says here that he it's important to stress the historicity, meaning that the analogy should be careful and contextual. That's what he's expressing here in the article.
Trump's incitement of the invasion of the Capitol on January 6, 2020 removes my objection to the fascist label.
Okay, guys. So, like,
his open encouragement.
Actually, finish up your sentence, Field Orange. But because of time restrictions,
comment that
wait.
Sure. So, in the New Yorker, his explicit quote is Donald, and is a whole breakdown of the whole thing is. Trump's incitement of the invasion of the Capitol on January 6, 2020 removes my objection to the fascist label. His open encouragement of civic violence to overturn an election crosses a red line. The label now seems not just acceptable, but necessary.
Okay, let's stop it there because we do have two more people who want to ask questions.
I agree with Kunta's source.
Yeah, so A Good, would you like to say anything to either of the contestants?
Yes, I have a question for Kunta and for
go for it.
You mentioned ICE was processed by Obama, Trump, and the rest of the previous presidents. Is that correct? Is that what you said?
It was the movement of ICE, right? You guys limiting it to the Republican system. I also said that we also have to be open that both parties were included in this system. That's all that I said.
So what do you think the main difference between the implementation of ISIS?
The main difference between the implementation of ICE? You can educate me on that because I'm not sure.
It's called due process. Do you understand that?
Could go on.
Due process. Have you heard of due process?
Yes, I have. But how would you rephrase it? Because other people see it differently.
Due processes follow the laws that are implemented.
Sure.
That's the difference between Obama and other president and Trump. Trump did not follow due process.
Wait. So what are you talking about? So under Fifth Amendment, right? Obviously, we see that it appears to against the federal government. So can you provide me any information in which Trump was going against the Fifth Amendment and 14th Amendment?
When you if you look at the due process,
bro, just answer the question. Can you provide any way in which Trump
process?
Bro, I don't want you to rap. You keep rapping to me. This is not poetry. Can you provide me any response to how Trump was going against the Fifth Amendment and 14th Amendment?
I don't know what you're referring to the Fifth Amendment regarding the due process.
You're talking about due process.
Yeah.
That's what we're talking about, due process. So if you guys come up here making all these claims, trying to put me in a box, but when I question
Are you asking for an instance where it was violated?
What are you talking about?
What it means that somebody, if the person that is arrested for crime has to go to due process, that means they have to go to court.
Again,
that they're guilty.
that's just a claim. Can you substantiate a claim in terms of how they went against the Fifth Amendment and the 14th Amendment, please?
I don't remember the exact law. I'm just telling you.
So you don't remember? You're just asking questions just to try and put me in a box for no reason. Like, what the hell are we doing here, brother? This is not. I'm not.
Well, if you want a specific instance, you can just cite Albrego Garcia.
Doesn't make any sense. Like, guys are just.
He was deported to El Salvador without due process.
Sorry, who?
Albrego Garcia.
Okay, so it is possible. Okay, thank you. So it is it's unfair treatment. If that's just a claim, I'll look into that. But it's unfair if that had to be the case, right? But then we also live into a middle mixed economy system where there is going to be people who will protest against those kind of things. Maybe Trump.
What does the economy have to do with anything?
So they will bring that Alberto guy back to America if that's the case.
They're not, though.
What do you mean they're not?
Trump was literally just asked if he was going to follow the Supreme Court ruling to bring him back, and he said, "I don't know.
Yeah, he says he doesn't know.
You have to ask someone else. I don't know.
Exactly. He doesn't know.
He should know, though. He's the president.
Wait. If he doesn't know, it could mean so many things. It could mean we have to double check if we did this right way or not, right? So it's an argument, it's a conversation. So we have to go back and look at whether we did it right or not. If he messed up,
you're going to tell me that the president doesn't know, so whether or not he's going to follow the law?
I'm talking about it's arbitrary. If he doesn't know, then they have to go back.
It's not arbitrary. It was a Supreme Court ruling.
No, you're not listening. I don't know emphasizes agnostic position. I'm not sure. So we're going to look this up. If I made a mistake, maybe he was tricked into sending Alberto to wherever, Dominica, wherever he's from. Maybe he was tricked, right, into making a choice. So we don't know.
He was tricked into doing something that he said he's not going to do?
Yeah, maybe he was
in
tricked.
the interview today, he said he don't know. But prior, he said no to bringing him back.
Okay, so now you're saying he doesn't know. Now you're saying he knows. Like, what are you talking about?
Okay, guys,
no, you're not tracking what I said.
Okay,
we do have to
1 minute.
because okay, we're gonna let Wait go, and then we do have to move on to the next debate.
Okay. Yeah, we have to move on. First thing I'd like to say, Kunta won just by rhetoric alone, because there was little substance that was given on either side. So Kunta won that. Secondly, give me my fucking mod powers back, you jackass. All right, that's all I have to say.
Okay. Cool. Thank you, Wait, for that. Although I do prefer to have no mods right now. That's typically how I'm running my lives, but I will consider it in the future. I might bring mods back, but typically I'm moderating my own lives for right now.
Unless there's Jay.
That's a boundary I'm setting for right now. I just want to moderate my own lives and keep the mods to a minimum. Or if I mod somebody, I mod them for a single live. And then take their mod powers after the live.
Mm-hmm.
But we're gonna get. Let me see. Do we have any more questions?
Nope, I'm gonna stay up here.
We have Mike Redding. We'll get his question, and then we'll probably move on to the next debate. Mike Redding, what do you have to say for us?
Yeah. Basically, the president has violated, of course, the primacy of the rule of law by, not bringing back the individual from, El Salvador. I mean, he could actually make moves in that regard, but he's made an excuse and he said, well, it's an issue of, extradition and, the Supreme Court obviously doesn't have powers to, it doesn't have any jurisdiction to actually bring back the individual in question. You've also got another problem with regards to Mohammed Khalil. He was arrested for protesting in these anti-Israel demonstrations. So, the primacy of the rule of law is just missed on someone like Trump, unfortunately. That's just what I'd like to say on that last topic. Hope I haven't resurrected anything from the last topic.
Oh no, you're totally.
He might be missing the rule of law, but you don't gotta miss your thumb on that like button or tap on Coco's face, okay? Tap on his Finn cosplay and get those goddamn likes up.
Smash that like button.
But we're gonna end it there and move on to our next debate a little bit early so we can be on time. We're just waiting for King Donnell to show up. He just followed me, so he's probably gonna be here. I'm going to send him a message like I do to all my followers. I like to have interactions with all my followers, every single 9,000 of them. But yeah, thank you guys for being up here. We appreciate you guys. Thank you guys for allowing me to host your debate. I really appreciate you guys being a part of my project. I can't do this without you guys. And if you guys want to debate in the future, anyone, any topic, any partnership, let me know. We will set a date. We will get the debate format. We will work around your schedule. If you work night shifts, morning shifts, we will work around your schedule and get it done. I appreciate you guys. I appreciate everybody watching. We're going to go to the next debate. Thank you, Hammy. Thank you, follow.
Stay up here, you know.
Follower count over 9,000?
I just want to say something real quick. I'm actually not a Republican nor a Democrat, nothing like that. But I'm just tired of people just being hypocrites.
I've heard that one before.
Where was that being a hypocrite?
No, we gotta go. We can talk about it later. We can talk about it.
We don't have time. We can move on. But yeah, thank you guys for being here. I'm gonna drop everybody off the panel except for the next contestant and Angel.
Not if I do it first.
Yep, and thank you.